Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's debate. Thank you all for being here. We're excited to have an engaging and respectful discussion on an important topic. Today's debate is social media in school. Each side will present their argument, followed by a rebuttal and closing statement. Each speaker will have a set amount of time to speak, and we ask that everyone remain respectful and observe the rules throughout the debate. Now let me introduce our participants. On the proposition side, we have Ms. Renalyn Small, Simone Randolph. On the opposition side, we have Ms. Ormela Prasad and Ms. Candace Edwards. Let's begin the debate. Let's begin the debate with the proposition side for the opening statement with the first speaker. After that, the opposition side will respond, the second speaker. Okay, now we go into the debate. First speaker.
Distinguished moderator and my fellow debaters, good morning to you all. As the first speaker of the proposition, I rise in full support of the notion social media in schools. We firmly believe that when used with guidance and purpose, social media can significantly enhance education, improve communication, and prepare students in Guyana for today's digital society. Let's begin by clarifying some key terms. Social media. Social media refers to the digital platform that allows individuals to create, share, and interact with content and others. These include popular tools such as Facebook, WhatsApp, YouTube, TikTok, and educational platforms like Google Classroom. Schools in this context refers to formal learning institutions in Guyana, both public and private, serving students from nursery to secondary levels. Now, having set the foundation, allow me to highlight how social media can positively transform our classrooms. To begin with, social media supports learning beyond the classroom walls. Many schools across Guyana, especially in the hinterland and rural areas, lack access to updated textbooks, modern labs, and even basic library resources. But with a simple smartphone and internet connection, a teacher can share a YouTube video on cell structure, post revision notes in WhatsApp groups, or assign research tasks through Google Classroom. This is not imagination. It is happening already in regions 2 and 6. So why not make it a structured part of learning? Moreover, social media strengthens communication between teachers, students, and parents. In schools, teachers often struggle to reach parents who may be working long hours or living far from the school grounds. But through platforms like WhatsApp, assignments, and even updates on students' behavior can be sent with the simple click of a button. Increased parents' engagement contributes to better monitoring of students and help prevent lapse before they guide. Most esteemed opponents, you may argue that social media is distracting or harmful to students, but facts have shown that when schools implement clear policies and monitoring, social media becomes a powerful tool. Keyword tool. Rather than banning it outright, schools should teach students how to use it responsibly. This brings me to my next point. Introducing social media in schools promote digital citizenship. Students today are already online, so instead of ignoring that reality, let us take them, let us give them the opportunity and guide them. We can use structured lessons to address cyberbullying, online safety, fake news, and digital responsibility. These are skills students need not only in school, but in everyday life. Now, let me ask you this. Are we preparing our students for the world of yesterday or the world they are already living in today? If we fail to equip them with the right tools and habits, we're setting them up to fail or fall behind. In closing, we are not promoting reckless or unrestricted use of social media. We are advocating for safe, guided, and educational integration. Used correctly, social media can turn a simple classroom in charity or Latin into a gateway to global knowledge. My more than capable second speaker, Miss Simone Randolph, will further explore social media, academic, and developmental. We will further explain the social, academic, and developmental benefits of integrating social media in Guyanese school. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Renalyn Small, our first speaker of the proposition side. Now we have our first speaker for the opposition side.
Good morning, mediator, esteemed judges, and my fellow debaters, everyone listening. My name is Armala Prasad, and I stand before you as the first speaker of the opposition. Today, we are debating the integration and impact of social media in schools, and my team strongly believes that bringing social media into the classroom does far more harm than good, especially within the Guyanese education system. Let me be very clear. We are not against technology or any digital advancement in schools. We recognize the value of innovation. However, social media in its current form is not an educational tool. It is a major source of distraction, pressure, and inequality. Allow me to take you through our key points. Firstly, let's consider the issue of distraction. Social media platforms such as TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and even WhatsApp are built to consume time and attention. They use algorithms that are specifically designed to keep users hooked. Now, imagine a student in a classroom trying to focus on a lesson, but being constantly tempted to check notifications, scroll through posts, or reply to messages. In Chinese classrooms, many of which are already crowded and have limited resources for learning, this makes it easier to lose attention and learn less. Do we want our students learning algebra or learning how to go viral? Secondly, let's talk about mental health and peer pressure. When students engage with social media, they are not just communicating, they are comparing themselves. They compare looks, lifestyles, likes, and followers. This creates anxiety, low self esteem, and pressure to fit in. In Guyana, we open conversations around mental health are still growing. We must be careful not to expose students to even more emotional strain inside the classroom. A place meant for learning and self confidence should not become a place of silent competition. Now, on to the third, a serious concern privacy and safety. Most students don't fully understand the risk of digital footprint. What they post today may be used against them tomorrow. A photo or comment shared in school might end up in the wrong hands. Let me ask, do we have strong policies in our schools to monitor and protect students from cyberbullying, information misuse, or exploitation? In most cases, we don't. So why introduce a tool that opens up so many risks? Finally, let's reflect on the reality of our Guyanese context. Not every child in Guyana has access to a smartphone or internet. Bringing social media into the classroom will only widen the gap between students who have access and those who don't. This leads to digital inequality, not digital progress. Before we can even think about integrating platforms like Instagram or Facebook into education, we must first ensure that every student has equal access, training, and protection. Ladies and gentlemen, social media in schools sounds modern, but modern doesn't always mean better. Right now, it is a distraction, a danger to mental health of our youths, a threat to student privacy, and a source of inequality. Let us not trade quality education for quick entertainment. Let us prioritize attention over algorithms and learning over likes. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Armella, our first speaker on the opposition side. Now we have our second speaker on the proposition side.
Thank you to my esteemed colleague, Ms. Renlyn Small, for laying a strong foundation for argument. I, Simone Randolph, the second speaker, would like to further elaborate on my teammates' argument on how integrating social media in schools, especially in Guyana, can deliver significant social, academic, and developmental benefit for pupils, communities, and our country as a whole. According to an article by Senai in May 2023, social media has significantly impacted education, enabling instant communication, information shared, and collaboration between pupils and educators. However, its impact on education is multifaceted, encompassing various aspects of society. My fellow debaters, social media offers numerous social benefits. In this digital age, it is redefining how we communicate. Social media in Guyana offers enhanced connectivity, support, networks, and opportunities for cultural exchange. It breaks geographical barriers, fostering community and creative expression. Pupils can seek advice, express themselves, and feel less alone, especially during stress or mental health challenges. Digital interaction will and is certainly enriching Guyana's diverse society. Additionally, social media usage has been linked to increased pupils' engagement and knowledge retention as it promotes active collaborative learning. It also provides access to educational resources, expert advice, and peer learning opportunities. The Guyana Digital School Initiative, proposed by the government of Guyana, will offer tailored lessons, multimedia content, and real-time feedback, providing high-quality academic support. Furthermore, social media integration fosters digital literacy, a skill highly valued, as we all know, both in the academic and professional field. It serves as a preparation for Guyana's place in the global digital economy. Hence, social media offers various benefits to pupils, including personalized learning, self-discipline and responsibility, creativity and expression, and global citizenship. It allows the pupils to pursue their education at their own pace, catering to various learning styles and abilities. Digital platforms also help develop essential time management and self-regulation skills, which are transferable to the workplace and beyond school. Social media also fosters global citizenship, preparing pupils to participate responsibly and empathetically in the digital world. Social media provides personalized learning, self-discipline, creativity, and global citizenship to pupils, fostering time management, self-regulation skills, and responsible digital participation, preparing them for the workplace and beyond. Members of the opposition, the government investment in smart classroom and the digital school initiative provides universal access, reducing the rural and urban education divide, giving every Guyanese child a fair opportunity to succeed. In conclusion, we firmly believe that by embracing social media within a structured educational framework, Guyanese schools can equip our pupils with the knowledge, confidence, and values to thrive in the classroom, in the community, and in our rapid changing world. Let us not fear technology, but harness its power for the betterment of Guyana's next generation. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Simone Randolph, our second speaker of the proposition side. Now we have our second speaker of the opposition side.
Good morning, moderator, fellow debaters, and listeners. I'm Candice Edwards, the second speaker of the opposition. You've already heard my teammate Armel Basad outline how social media brings serious harm when introduced into classrooms, especially in Guyana. I will now focus on two keys concerned academic performance and students' dynamic. First, school is meant for learning, but will already strain resources, large class size, and limited materials. Adding social media only adds more distractions. How can pupils focus on lessons while checking likes or stressing over TikTok views? Research supports this. A 2023 Journal of Educational Psychology studies found students who use social media for more than 3 hours daily are 40% more likely to have lower grades. Another 2022 study in Fountain in Psychology links frequent use of shorter attention span and weaker problem solving. Social media competes with teachers for attention and learner suffers. Next, let's talk about teacher-students boundaries. When students follow teachers on Instagram or message them on Facebook, professionalism is blurred. Whereas when classroom incidents become viral content, it turns school into a stage, not a safe space.
Thank you, Ms. Our second speaker of the opposition side. Now let's move on to the rebuttal. We will start with the opposition side. You may begin.
Good morning once again, honorable judges, mediator, audience, and fellow debaters. I thank the opposition team for presenting their case. They have painted a bright picture of what social media could do in schools. But as the opposition, we must challenge what's realistic, what's safe, and what's best for our students in today's Guyanese context. Let's get to the heart of the matter. The proposition's argument is built on optimism but not on practical sustainable policies. Yes, it's true. Platforms like YouTube or WhatsApp can help with access to content. But what the proposition fails to mention is the lack of regulation and distraction that comes with these platforms. They say teachers can send videos through WhatsApp, but those same students are also one click away from TikTok dances, gossip groups, or explicit content. How will schools control that? If access to education is the goal, they are safe for education specific platforms like Moodle, Google Classroom, or offline apps. Social medias are not designed for learning, they're designed for engagement and profit. That's not what we in our classrooms. Secondly, social media strengthens communication, but it weakens boundaries. The proposition praises WhatsApp as a tool for teacher parent communication. While this is happening informally, in some cases, making it policy dangerous, what happens when students message teachers at 11 p.m. or when private conversations are screenshotted and shared? Are schools prepared to deal with the misconduct, overexposure, and abuse of access? We need communication platforms that maintain professional boundaries and digital safety, not tools that blur the lines between school and personal life. Next, digital citizenship. Sounds noble, but it's not enough. They claim social media teaches students responsibility, but responsibility comes after maturity, not before it. Introducing social media into the classroom in hopes that students will learn to behave online is like giving a toddler car keys to teach them about road safety. That's illogical. Cyberbullying, addiction, inappropriate content, and peer pressure are real dangers. No policy or lesson plan can fully prevent these platforms. Prevent when these platforms are open and uncontrolled. Guyana Digital School and Access for All, let's be honest, the proposition relies heavily on the promise of the Guyana Digital School initiative. While that is a commendable government project, it is still being rolled out. Internet access remains patchy in hinterland and riverine areas. Not every student has a device, and not every teacher has digital training. So until these gaps are closed, promoting social media in classrooms only benefits the few while leaving many others behind. That's not equality, that's exclusion. Social media builds global citizens. Maybe, but not yet. The second speaker mentions creativity, time management, and global citizenship. These are beautiful ideas, but they don't require Facebook or TikTok. This can be nurtured through structured educational tools and project-based learning. Let us not confuse entertainment with education. Just because students are engaged on social media doesn't mean they're learning. And just because something is popular doesn't mean it's appropriate. Finally, the proposition's policy is based on what could work in a perfect world. But we live in the real world where students are vulnerable, resources are limited, and schools are under-equipped to monitor social media effectively. Until we have equal access for every student, strong teacher training, cyber protection systems, and education first digital tools, we should not hand over the classroom to social media platforms. Let us choose focus over distraction, structure over chaos, and learning over likes. Thank you.
Thank you to the opposition side. Let's hear the closing remarks from the proposition side.
Distinguished moderator, esteemed judge, worthy opponents, good morning once again. I rise now to deliver the rebuttal to the points made by the opposition. While my opponents presented passionate grounds, their claims overlook key factors and the real development in Guyana's education system. Firstly, they claim that social media leads to distraction and poor academic performance. However, they completely ignore our central point that we are advocating for guided and structured integration of social media in our schools. We are not suggesting that students be given free rein to scroll TikTok during lessons. We are promoting the intentional use of platforms such as WhatsApp and YouTube to share educational materials and facilitate discussions, just like what is already happening in regions 2 and 6. If properly managed, social media doesn't distract, it enhances. Secondly, the opponents cited mental health concern and peer pressure. But what they fail to recognize is that avoiding social media wouldn't erase these challenges. Students already use social media daily. By integrating it within schools, we can educate them about cyberbullying, self-worth, and online safety. Isn't it better to empower students with knowledge and guidance rather than ignore the digital reality we're living in? They also raise concern about privacy and teacher-student boundaries. Yet again, they miss our point about clear digital policies. Just as schools have rules for uniforms and behavior, they can implement policies for appropriate social media usage. Schools are already using WhatsApp to communicate with parents, This is not new. We are simply proposing that we make these practices more inclusive, safe, and purposeful. Finally, they emphasize digital inequality, and yet our second speaker pointed to the Digital School Initiative, a national effort to provide internet access and digital resources to learners across the country. Rather than deepening inequality, social media can bridge that gap, connecting hinterland and coastal students to the same resources. Esteemed judge, our opponents painted social media as a villain, but we see it as a tool. And like any tool, its value depends on how we use it. Our argument is grounded, not feared. Let's prepare our students for the world they are already living in, not the one we wish still exists. Thank you.
Thank you, the preposition side, for that rebuttal. Thanks to all the debaters for your thoughtful, your truthful argument, and to our audience for attention and respect. Let's give a round of applause to our speakers. To conclude our debate for today, thank you once again and have a great day.